Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday morning trading room. I hope you had an enjoyable long weekend. So let's get the screen share going on here. My computer bogging down a little bit this morning. Hold on a second here. Let's see if I can't speed things up some. Okay, I had a few too many windows open. Let's see if that helps. Can anyone let me know if the video is coming through yet? Or do I have to? No video. All right, hold on. All right, let's try this. Computers are great when they work. Okay, good. Video's coming through. The market's fairly quiet yesterday, which is typical of a holiday. A lot of times the electronic markets will still be open, but honestly, nobody's trading. So you may as well just take the day off like everybody else. This morning, it looks like we've had a little bit of a run up out of the open. The overnight, a little bit on the bearish side. So once again, we're seeing that early reverse, which is typical. If the market has had an overnight trend, it's not unusual to see the market try to reverse that on the open. And it looks like we're getting a little bit of a rally here to start the morning. I'm just curious here with the overnight. If I shoot a trend line, where does that fall? Oh, look at that. Got a trend line in the neighborhood. We'll see whether or not that brings some selling back into the marketplace or whether the buyers push right on through that. Thanks, Julian says there was a big buyer at 67.64. Maybe they help press the market a little higher. We'll see whether prices can get over that 67.80 hurdle. That seems to be near where the trend line is. I'm definitely bullish, though. It looks like we do have a bullish start to the day. We'll see if we can get perhaps a little bit of a pullback here. Never really a fan of getting into a market near a trend line because, you know, traders will be watching trend lines. Sellers will be looking at trend lines for shorting opportunities, and buyers will be watching trend lines for profit-taking opportunities. So a little bit of a hesitation here now as, like I said, we've got a trend line just above us, around 67.80. Oh, Julian says she's looking a little further. She's looking around 68 as a profit target, 68 even. Or 68.05, sorry. Need to get my glasses adjusted. All right, well, we got ourselves a late filter entry signal now here on the Falcon. Signal produced right here. A second push entry, maybe not a bad way to go. We know there's trend line resistance at 67.80. You could even look to enter above there. Sometimes allowing a little bit on the entry enables you to stay on the right side of the trade, but of course the trade-off is the delayed entry. I could almost have my profit target had I entered on the hash mark. So the late filter entry again occurs when the trend line goes, pardon me, when the filter goes out of sync, but the trend line does not go out of sync. They slipped me a tick there, which I did not want to see. So the trend line stays in sync, the filter goes out of sync, comes back into sync. We've printed a buy signal. And you can see, had I taken it right on the hash mark, I would have found my profit objective already. So I'm a little bit late to the party, but the buyers are looking strong-ish. What time is it? Oh, it's still a little bit early. We're only about 10 minutes into the session. And I thought we were on the other side of that trend line, but maybe not. That trend line giving me a little bit of grief now. And I'll be looking for the buyers to step up. And there they are. I'm going to bring my stops now below the 67.70 area. That area right there. If I can get one more push higher, I'm going to roll my stops below this swing low. And I'm going to bring my break even in a little bit as well, if I'm lucky enough to get one more rally. As a rule, I tend not to be that lucky. Okay, so I'm going to bring my stop up. And are they going to go? Come on. No, don't stop now. You're so close. You can do it. Get up there. You know you want to. Oh, you stinkers. So it seems like the median line printing right where that trend line resistance is probably falling as well. And it looks like we're struggling with that just a bit. Little bit. Come on. No, they're going to knock me down here. That's what I get for the delaying my entry. Very often the late filter or the second push entry helps you stay out of a market that isn't quite committed yet. In this time, I was entering a little bit too late, but I did manage to get that back to break even, so well, at least it's not a loss. I don't. It seems, well, anything's better than a loss. I was going to make some smart remark, but anything is still better than a loss. Well, we might be hanging out here for a little bit until we get a handle on what's going on here. That first in-sync eagle signal paying off big time this morning. Printed shortly after the open, or right on the open, I suppose. This one right here. Great follow through on that. That signal works more often than not. And it's really a nice way to start the day. Catch that early trend, if there is going to be one. Overall, it looks like we're getting a little bit neutral though. Yellow bars coming in here on the hawk. That's a early indication that the market's going to be moving sideways. Trade forecaster already in full-on scalp mode. The Falcon, the trend line starting to get that roller coaster effect, and our filter breaking up. And let's see what the Raptor is doing. The Raptor also starting to print some yellow bars, go a little bit sideways. I'm surprised we haven't seen a number 2 signal crop up yet. That's the counter trend. See, may have spoken too soon. Now we have a possible retest here of the high. Good follow through on that breakout. I've mentioned this before as well. You can do that first in sync signal on your Raptor as well as the Eagle. So here is the Raptor right out of the open. Here is our in sync signal. And you can see that also having some decent follow through to it. The buyer's looking in control, but reluctant. Oh, there they go. Okay, the Hawk, first micro macro cross, the Eagle, just a continuation signal, and the Falcon, our trend change signal there as well. And then, of course, the Raptor having the number 3 signal, that's the hard edge mounts. Wonder if we're going to get another little bit of a pullback here. The market legs, I don't know, are they going to get shorter or are they just going to keep pressing? This is a pretty long push up here. What tends to happen is that, let me see if I can find you a good example. This one's actually pretty even, but what tends to happen is that the size of each rally tends to get a little bit smaller before the market changes direction. Yeah, those were all pretty even, but that's usually what happens is we'll have a big push. We'll have a big push, and then the next push is a little smaller, and the next push a little smaller still, and then the market tries to reverse. Okay, the hawk drifting back into yellow bars. Looks like we're going to try to get a red bar buy there. Nope, that disappeared. Back into the hard edge now for the Raptor. The Falcon actually making a little bit of a trend change. Oh, as is the Hawk, a first micro-macro cross lower. Now these counter trend signals, the Hawk not so difficult to take because with our Hawk, our target is fairly modest. But with some of these other tools, like the Falcon, the Raptor, the Eagle, you always need to be careful with a counter trend position because we're looking for a larger profit. It's not to say the market's not going to try to move lower from here. But rather that we have a reasonably strong uptrend. So you don't want to necessarily get too aggressive on the short side. Now it's usually after I say something like that that the bottom will fall out of the market. We're getting a little bit of a downward drift. The Eagle now introducing a red bar with a green warning dot. Oh, it's since flipped over to be a green bar. There was almost a red bar buy there. All right, well, we're on hold here for a bit. Finally producing a counter trend signal here on the Raptor. Very, very drawn out number 2 signal. The hard edge is the target. So at this point, there's really just enough there for a little bit of a scalp type trade. Yeah, like Scott says, haven't seen a move this slow in weeks. Yeah, the last few weeks, very fast. A lot of volatility. All right, let's see if we get a bounce there, or if it's just going to keep sliding. Buyers are going to be looking to show up here somewhere, and the hard edge is usually the place where they make their stand. All right, here we go. We're going to get a red bar buy on the Eagle, and we're going to produce a hard edge bounce here on the Raptor. Maybe. Wow. Market seems very content where it is right now. It doesn't really want to move higher or lower. It's liking this 67.80 area quite a bit. Yeah. Dan says the median's line here says, no, you're not getting above me. Lots of red warning dots. But because we are in the hard edge, I'm looking for a bounce now. Whether or not I'm going to get it, that's a whole other story. think the other tools are showing more or less the same thing. The Hawk and the Falcon full on sell mode. Ooh, now we're getting yellow bars. See, all I have to do is say something like that, and then the market will make a liar out of me. Looking for a second push entry now. We've produced the hard edge bounce signal. It did not meet the programming requirements. That's why a number 3 signal did not print, but it is a number 3 signal all the same. It looks like I have a chance here for a second push on the entry. And they did not slip, which is a good start. This is a little bit more aggressive, but I'm looking now for a retest of the high. And you can see I've got a fair amount of room here to make this trade work. Come on, one more bar. One more bar and I'll get my break even. Come on, one more push. Here too, I can bring my break even in a little bit, back to the high of that bar. If the market rallies up, I can start to roll my stops. I can certainly bring them up to here, or perhaps even a little bit tighter to here, but I'm going to try to give them every opportunity to make this trade work. Come on, there we go. Here we go. Okay, the Raptor now producing a number 1 signal. Cloud's back in sync, so it's a cloud crossover. And we've had the pullback. And then the market continues in the new direction of the cloud. Come on, get up there. Oh, whew. Oh, that was hard work. We should see a better retest here of the high of the morning now. So there, if you're in this trade still, there is a good chance that the market's going to try to run up here, get back to this 6,800 area where prices retreated from previously. But I think I'm just going to take my profit when I get it. But overall, the market's still fairly bullish. Starting to move maybe a little bit sideways. Maybe we're seeing a test of the extreme here. Scalp mode coming to an end, and we're moving into trend mode. We'll see here in a moment how long trend mode is supposed to last. Okay, the Eagle getting a little more bearish now. We've had a couple bars trade lower here. Now, this does not necessarily mean that a reversal is coming, although we are seeing a test of the extreme. It won't be complete until the market trades back below these lows, but we do have the makings of a rule of 3 signal. Trend mode forecast for only 15 minutes, which not huge. But a rejection of the highs here definitely going to encourage sellers if the market does not trade above the recent high. If the market gets back above the recent high, where are we sitting? Gets back above 67.97, 3/4, then all bets are off. And the buyers probably will continue to rally hard. So the big retest now of the high of the morning. Wonder, did this number 3 signal have enough in it to get to the profit target? No, not quite. I was a little reluctant on this number 3 given its proximity to the highs of the day. But like I said, if it gets above the high here, it has room to move. So maybe I should have taken the chance. Yeah, there we go. See, finding some exit orders now from the sellers, getting some sellers scrambling. Oh, maybe they didn't scramble as far as I thought. Heavy selling coming in here at 6,800. They're trying to lay it on. I'm rooting for you, Julian. Julian says she's got her target at 68.05. I'm pulling for you. All right, well, let's put that on the shelf for now. Now we got the upwards drift. All right, now the sellers knocking the market back. So 6,800 looking like a little bit of a sticky point. The hawk already becoming a little bit more bearish. If you were inclined, there is a selling opportunity here on a first micro macro cross lower. I don't know if the sellers are going to unwind this market or not. It's a pretty strong bull market this morning. Not that strong overall, but certainly this morning looking a little bit stronger. That first micro macro cross now looking like a macro pullback. I don't think I would go in heavy on any counter trend attempts. Oh, thank goodness they moved into yellow bars. I don't even need to worry about it now. You can see how I mentioned the legs getting a little bit shorter. So there's the first leg, the second leg, third leg. And we're starting to get a little bit of sideways drift as well. So if we play connect the dots, we can actually connect those dots all like that, and now all of a sudden we're going a little bit flat. Okay, so we continue to produce hard edge buys. So the trend still looking up. We got a hard edge buy here, signaled right here. Tagged the hard edge again, so we're coming back with yet another hard edge buy. So here's another trade with a second push opportunity. And again, just the way the market's been hopping around of late, I don't really want to take this trade too tight. Let's see, are they going to give me a second push? Actually, you know what? I can afford to wait it out. I'm just going to wait to see if they give me a second push opportunity here. That would make for a little bit more reliable entry. Hey, way to go, Julian. That's right. We hit 68.05. Julian hitting her profit objective. Nicely done. All right, well, there was a little bit of follow through there on the number 3 signal. I think enough to find the profit target. Oh, we're just kissing the profit objective. Not quite there yet, but I imagine, there we go, just tagged it. Yeah, I'm with you, Julian. Julian says she's looking for a pullback before the next rally. That's kind of my thinking as well, is that I would love to see the market give me a little bit of a retest here. Another move back to the hard edge way down here around the 67.94, 95 area. That could offer a decent buying opportunity because you just know the buyers are trying to hang on for a better entry. Julian's looking for a really deep retrace. She says she's looking all the way back to 67.90. You might just get it too. You know, the market a little toppy maybe. Again, visually, you can see that the momentum seems to be moving a little bit more sideways, less on the upside. So that's why I would welcome a pullback here to the hard edge. Actually, that may even coincide with the trend line. Yeah, pretty close. And then we may get one more bull push for the day. Pardon me. Soft edge sell now. So if you're keen to try to short, here you go. Here's your chance to try to short this market. Again, I wouldn't go crazy on a counter trend if you're going to try it. Maybe throw a single on there. We do have a second push opportunity. Stops definitely need to go above the high and not just like one tick above the high. Okay, another retest of the highs. We'll see if we come back with another failure and engage this number 2 signal, which is really a drawn out signal right now. And like I said, this is fairly aggressive on my part. I'm trying to do a counter trend in a relatively strong uptrending market. They didn't slip me. Good. Ooh, that was a quick little hop to the short side. Again, you know, I'm not getting too aggressive with the sellers, but there was a little opportunity there for a counter trend move, which, hooray for me, worked out all right. We'll see if they can slide any lower from here. Okay, here we come now with the hard edge bounce. We're back into the hard edge. Our tool's a little bit conflicted here at the moment. We've got the hawk already bearish, the falcon working on a trend change, the eagle and the raptor, however, both remaining slightly bullish. Okay, and now the raptor also starting to turn over. So we don't quite have a cloud crossover in the raptor just yet, but we're getting there. You could call this an early cloud crossover. Like I said, overall, the market still definitely bullish. So you need to be careful on some of these, like I say, these counter trend moves. Not to get too aggressive with them. So at the moment, the only one still moderately bullish is the eagle, and that is fading fast as well. Okay, well, if the buyers are going to show up, they're going to have to do it soon. They're quickly losing this market. Back to the median line, where we're witnessing a little bit of a reaction. 67.85. Bounced the market here as well once it got over. Okay, so we're going to produce a cloud crossover here to short now. Oh, give me a chance. Don't you run away yet. Oh, darn it, just slipped away on me. I could have hit the sell market order as well, but here now your complete cloud crossover signal. So your cloud's fully crossed. Here's a little bit of a pullback, and the market producing a signal suggesting that prices will head lower from here. I was just a little bit late getting my order in, but we'll play it out anyhow. We'll see what it's going to look like. Oh, we may get a bigger retrace here as well. This is typical of trend changes also. You know, trend changes rarely making a very tight, what they call V top or V bottom. It's kind of like trying to turn around an 18-wheeler. You need a whole lot of room to do it. Okay, so if we get another bar forming lower here, I would start to bring my stops in. And once again, I would probably bring my break even somewhere around here. Oh, are they going to give it to me? There we go. So now your stop, you should probably bring down here somewhere. Either this swing or this swing, they're pretty much the same. If you're more aggressive on the trade, you can even roll bar for bar. The way the trade is right now, though, you have about $100 at risk, which should not be a deal breaker. Boy, they're trying hard. There we go. So now we've got the break even. No. No, just got tagged at break even. Oh well. Maybe I was a little bit too aggressive with my stops again. Yeah, looks that way. As the market heading back down to what would have been my profit target. Oh well. But the market a little confused right now. Not sure whether it wants to go higher or lower. All right, so what do we got going on now? The sellers showing up, but not following through. Hey, nicely done, Mark. Mark having a good day. Says I took 5 trades, both up and down since the open, being very careful with my trade management. All 5 were winners. Nicely done. I'm done since anything more would end up being over trading and getting me into trouble. Not a bad day. No, sir. Anytime you can go 5 for 5, that is a good day, all right. The morning session getting a little long in the tooth, but what I suspect, well, our band has already flipped over. So as far as the Eagle programming is concerned, we're a little bit more bearish now than we are bullish. Julian says, I'm only 2 for 2. I'm 2 for 2 as well, and I'm quite pleased with that. Thank you very much. Mark's a crazy man, though. He'll he has no fear. Just goes out and takes those signals, which is a good thing because you know the more mechanical you can trade, usually the better off you will be. All right, here come the buyers again. We actually produced a red bar buy here on the Eagle, even though the cloud kind of bearish. The Falcon producing a trend change signal. The Hawk got messed up with those yellow bars, unfortunately. We'll see here on the Raptor whether we're going to get a cloud crossover signal forming now. All right, this is going to be an early cloud crossover because the cloud's not fully crossed at this point. And we're kind of trading back around the high of the day. So you could give it a couple of ticks. The signal not fully formed, by the way. I only have the warning dot. I'm kind of anticipating what the signal will do here. Okay, so now the pullback, which is characteristic of a cloud crossover signal. And, you know, once again, the cloud's not fully crossed. We're just kind of waiting. And here they come again. So I've got the warning dot. I'm anticipating that the signal will print somewhere around here. There's the signal, and it's not going to print as a number one because the cloud's not completely crossed yet, but it is still a number one signal, and I think they slipped me again on that, scoundrels. Come on. Come on. You can do it. It's a tough grind for the buyers here this morning. Oh, I think Julian's long as well. She says her first target 68.15, then 68.25, then out. Love it. Julian's always swinging for the fences. That's great. right, come on. Don't hold up yet. I betcha if I shot a fib level on here, we're sitting somewhere around the 50% line, and so we are. And just got above the 62. You can usually tell when the market starts to drag a little bit, you're probably trading near a fib level. Not that there's necessarily anything to the Fibonacci levels. Like most things trading related, they work until they don't work. But you just know that it's going to attract a lot of attention. Just anywhere near the middle of the trading range, even if you don't do a fib level, you can kind of see, given the last range, we're kind of in the middle there. And since it is the middle and essentially fairly neutral, you're going to attract a fair number of buyers and sellers. And that tends to bog things down a little bit, or can. But got up to the profit target, which is great. So what is that now? 3 for 3? And, you know, having a good day, I'm just trading singles. Of course, the way to make more money is not trading more often, but rather correctly capitalizing on your positions. Or if you have the nerve to run a monster stop, like Julian is doing, you can try to hold out for a bigger move. But most people don't have the stomach for an 80 tick stop loss order. All right, well, that may well be the morning. We'll just hang in here for a few minutes, see if anything else presents itself. Thanks, Scott. Scott says, nice job on your trade, Z. You know, I think a lot of people would benefit by staying to one side of the market. I know Mark, for instance, was trading both ways today, which is great. And trading, I've said it before, is a very personal business. You have to find what you're comfortable with. But if I find the market is paying off in one direction, I will tend to stay with that direction. So this morning, especially out of the open, it seemed like the market was fairly bullish, especially after the sellers could not reverse the market at this point. This was kind of a key move right here. So ever since then, I've just been trying to stay on the long side. And yeah, there were selling opportunities through here. In fact, you know, if you look at something like the Falcon or the Hawk, those were some substantial moves, right? You look at those here on your Hawk scalper, that was a very strong move lower, unfolded in the space of about 5 or 6 minutes. So you didn't have to hold too long. And then the other move lower, where was it? It was equally as aggressive, however. Can't find it right now. But I'm okay sitting aside while the market is doing that, so long as I can get back on board with what I consider to be the trend. And sometimes you do have to wait a long time. Yeah, Mark just making a comment here. He looks at FEB levels from time to time, and he says it happens to be a FEB that coincides with 6,800. So whenever you get an even number like that and a bunch of things lining up, it tends to be a strong area, and that is so true. Whole numbers, as a rule, tend to be fairly influential. For the most part, traders like to keep things simple, which means 6,800 will be a strong number. 6,750 will be a strong number. 6,850 will be a strong number. And then to a lesser extent, 67.75, 68.25. But yes, the market will gravitate toward whole numbers. Those are the ones that make the news, right? It won't make the nightly, well, it'll make the nightly news, but it won't be a big deal if the market makes 68.16 today. But if it makes 68.50, that'll be a news item. Because people will say, wow, 68.50, that's a big number. Yeah, Mark says the same thing when they line up with the ultimate support and resistance zones. They tend to be stronger, and that is true. So here we have primary resistance at technically 68.28. However, we know 68.25 just being a sensitive number, if you will. It's probably going to be an influential area when and if prices can get up there. So right now the market's struggling a little bit. I think if you're going to be trading this afternoon, I think you'll still be better served by staying on the buy side. The market, a struggling bull, but a bull market all the same. But we're starting to drift a little bit. More yellow bars here in the hawk. The falcon again starting to break up. And even the eagle band starting to flip-flop a little bit. All right, boys and girls, I will see you again tomorrow, and yeah, hopefully the markets will be cooperating again. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.